solve the square root of 1 over a to the power of x plus 1 equal to 4 to the power of x. So in this question, we are not told to change the 8 and the 4 into the same base, but what we're going to have to do is change both of them into a base of 2. The idea is that we eventually have 2 to the power of something equals 2 to the power of something. We can cancel out the bases, we can cancel out the 2's, we can equate the indices, and we can solve for x. So I'm going to change the 8 and the 4 to a base of 2. I'm going to get 8 equals 2 to the power of 3, and 4 equals 2 to the power of 2. Very, very important when I do this that I put brackets around. So the 8 becomes 2 to the power of 3 with brackets around it. That's the only thing that changed in this step. And the 4 becomes 2 to the power of 2 with brackets around it. So in my next step, I'm raising a power, 2 to the power of 3. I'm raising that power to a higher power. So what I'm going to do is multiply my powers because I'm following another one of my rules of indices. And that rule is rule number 3. When I'm raising a power to a higher power, I multiply the indices. So I'm going to do 3 multiplied by x to give me 3x, and 3 multiplied by 1 to give me 3. On the right hand side, I'm also raising a power to a higher power, and I'm going to have 2 multiplied by x to give me 2x. Okay, in my next step, what I'm going to do is get rid of this fraction. So I've got 1 over 2 to the power of 3x plus 3, but I don't want a fraction. So I'm going to change that to 2 to the power of minus 3x plus 3. And I'm using another rule of indices for that step. And that is rule number 5. A to the power of minus p equals 1 over a to the power of positive p. So I'm actually using this rule in reverse. I'm going from 1 over a to the power of positive p to a to the power of minus p. So I had 1 over 2 to the power of 3x plus 3 changes to 2 to the power of minus bracket 3x plus 3 bracket. Very important that I have the brackets here. If I didn't, if I just wrote down minus 3x plus 3, then I would end up with the wrong answer because ultimately this is meant to be minus 3x and minus 3. So it's very important that I have the brackets there. The right hand side stays the same, 2 to the power of 2x. The next thing that I'm going to do is change this square root to the power of a half. And I'm using another one of my laws of indices for this. And that is law 6, a to the power of 1 over q equals the cube root of a. So we're actually going to use this rule in reverse. We're going to go from the cube root of a gives us a to the power of 1 over q. So in this case, it's going to be the square root of 2 to the power of minus 3x plus 3 gives us 2 to the power of minus 3x plus 3 raised to the power of a half. So this square root becomes the power of a half. So in my next step, I'm going to be using law 3 again, which tells me that a to the power of p raised to the power of q gives me a to the power of pq. So when I'm raising a power to a higher power, I'm multiplying the powers. And in this case, I am multiplying minus 3x plus 3 by a half. Now instead of actually multiplying out, all I'm going to do is bring the half down here in front of the bracket. So it becomes a minus a half multiplied by 3x plus 3. I'm not actually going to multiply it out just yet. So minus 3x plus 3 raised to the power of half. When I'm raising a power to a higher power, I multiply the powers. So I'm just going to bring this half down here in front of the bracket. And I'm going to have 2 to the power of minus a half multiplied by 3x plus 3 equals 2 to the power of 2x. Now I can see that my bases are the same on either side. I've got a base of 2, so I can cancel out my bases. I'm going to equate my indices, and then I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to bring this minus a half times 3x plus 3 up here, minus a half times 3x plus 3 equals, and then I'm going to bring this 2x up here as well, equals 2x. So what I've done is I've equated my indices, and now I'm going to solve for x. So now I'm going to multiply out that half, which in this case is a minus a half, because I had a minus from here, which was brought down here, and now brought up here. So minus a half times 3x gives me minus 3 over 2x, and minus a half times 3 gives me minus 3 over 2, and this is equal to 2x. I'm going to bring the 2x over the equal sign to become minus 2x, and I'm going to bring the minus 3 over 2 over the equal sign, become 3 over 2. So now I have my x's together on one side. Minus 3 over 2x minus 2x gives me minus 7 over 2x. And this is still equal to 3 over 2. Now I have minus 7 over 2 stuck onto the x, and two things stuck together in maths means multiply, and the opposite of multiply is divide. So in order to get rid of this and get the x on its own, I need to divide by minus 7 over 2. So I'm going to do that on the right hand side, 3 over 2 divided by minus 7 over 2. That's the same thing as 3 over 2 multiplied by minus 2 over 7. Because when we are dividing fractions, we swap the divide for multiply, and we turn the second fraction upside down. We turn it into its inverse. So I end up getting x is equal to minus 3 over 7. So I was asked to solve the square root of 1 over 8 to the power of x plus 1 equal to 4 to the power of x, and I end up getting x to be minus 3 over 7.